How do you pronounce X in titles and brand names? I ignore it altogether because it's fucking stupid. X. I've always understood it to symbolize a collaboration or crossover, not an adversarial vs position. In my mind, I think by instead of with. Not sure why though. It might vary, but in the case of Manganime Hunter x Hunter, it's pronounced Hunter Hunter. Spy X Family is also pronounced as Spy Family, so I'm assuming in Japanese media naming, the X is silent. I variously heard it read as X or cross. I always thought it was by like Savage by Fenty? Is that not right? Might be a mathematical logic thing. X means multiply or times, so you could say Godzilla times Kong. This is in the same sense as when a thing is alongside another thing, and each has a multiplicative effect on the other, as in this case where they are teaming up. Like, if you make a mistake and then make an exacerbating mistake on top, you may be in trouble squared aka trouble x trouble. In the same way as in math, the multiplicative sign can often be dropped. You can say a xb, but it's equally correct to say ab to imply multiplication. So, it stands to reason that the x can be dropped from its usages in artistic scenarios as well. Hence Godzilla Kong or Hunter Hunter. This encapsulates both scenarios you posed and also explains why it's commonly used to refer to two people or creatures teaming up. By working together, the output is more than the sum of the parts. It's a multiplicative effect. Also interesting, it may be valid to say and in place of x as well. In Boolean logic, the AND operator is identifiable with other base systems multiply. Personally, I think Godzilla and Kong sounds better than Godzilla Kong. The latter sounds like a weird fusion of the two beasts. VS is the abbreviation for versus, so it should be Godzilla vs. Kong, while X implies more of a crossing, intersection, or mating. Things like Exacto as a knife brand, they can copyright that since it isn't English, but it sounds like Exacto. This confirms that the official pronunciation is with a silent X in the case of Godzilla X Kong, though Godzilla Kiss Kong would have been so much better. HTTPS. Im from Mziko. I've heard the founder of Savage X Fenty actually say X, so I assume it's dependent upon who used it. Other times I've heard it not spoken or silent, so who knows? The person who decided X is the new and vs or feet was dumb, because for me X just means multiply. Geez guys, they use the X because it's a cross, as in crossbreeding. That's how they invent new strains. So Gelato X Afghan Kush would be gelato crossed with Afghan Kush. How do you pronounce it? ID like the gelato Afghan Kush cross please. It's important to say please at the end of the sentence. It tells them you are polite and not ungrateful swine. That's why I always hated that Eclipse cross SUV. I was always like, what's it crossed with? A turd? I just say X. Savage X Fenty. If it's just X, it is pronounced Twitter. According to the director of Godzilla X Kong, it's not pronounced. It signifies a collaboration and is basically used to separate names. Crossed with. For Spy X Family and Godzilla X Kong, the X is not pronounced. At least for the former, that's how it's supposed to be. For the latter, it just seems the more popular way. And? Try what I do, pronounce X as 10, or if you see Batman v Superman, say Batman 5 Superman.